Hey Zen friends, welcome to the fourth Quest video for 2025. And if this is the first Quest video that you're watching, these videos and pretty much everything else I post weekly, monthly, and quarterly this year is all about our quest for the 5 in 2025, the quest for the 5 elements. And because each of these quest videos build upon each other, I highly encourage you to check out the first 3 quest videos as they provide some great foundational information, especially for the elemental spirit guides. So links for the quest playlist are listed in the description box of this video, and they'll appear at the end of this video as well. So the ultimate quest leads us to the ethereal, which is our connection to the spirit world. It's the only stable thing in this realm and is the only thing that can bring us true contentment. We come here to experience the opposite of who we really are, and part of that journey is eventually returning to the full awareness of who we really are, whether that be while we're a human character in this lifetime or when we return fully as a spiritual being after we're done with this life as this human character. The first 5 quest videos focus on each of the 5 elements. January, we looked at the air element of the mind. February, we experienced the water element of emotion. March was the element of earth, and that deals with our physical adventure. And in this video, we'll look at fire, which is all about our passion, our energy, our creativity. And we'll finish up with the ethereal next month and then expand our adventure. I'm super excited. The second half of each of these first 5 videos, they're focused on our 4 elemental spirit guides and our 5th elemental ethereal spirit guide, also known as our guardian angel. And we talk about how you can get to know and connect with your own elemental spirit guides. And if you watched the last quest video, how was it getting to know your Earth Elemental Spirit Guide? I'd love to hear about it, and you can comment on this or the last video, or if you would rather not share publicly, I get it, you can email me also at brettazen@gmail.com. My email is always listed in the description box of the video toward the bottom. I have been purposely waiting until the following videos to talk about my own elemental guide from each video so that you can have a pure experience with your own elemental guide. So now that it's been about a month since the last video, I'll start off today talking about my own Earth Elemental Spirit Guide to provide some perspective on how they can assist us in our physical experience with the outside world and how we can interact with them. I won't take up too much time on this so we can get into the fire element energy. In the first 2 videos, I've mentioned how I was introduced to my 4 elemental guides. So if you haven't checked those out, I encourage you to listen to them for more information on connecting to your spirit guides and specifically, of course, your elemental guides. And I've mentioned that our connection between us and our elemental spirit guides can be of a kind of collective kind of nature. And what I mean by that is that a part of our soul can be a member of a starseed collective in a star system far from us, existing as part of that collective while also experiencing life as this human character at the same time. And really, we're experiencing many different lifetimes of existences all at the same time, but our human mind is shielded from them. I joke that if we were to be aware of all the lifetimes that we're living, our head might explode. And my fire elemental spirit guide is part of the Phoenix Collective of Sirius B, which is a sub-collective of the large Sirian Starseed Collective. My wind elemental spirit guide, Zephyr, is a collective of souls who experience what it's like to be the flow of the wind, of which I actually experienced in a past life. So I have that past life connection with this air collective. The more I connect with spirit beings on the other side, the more I've realized that when we're vibrating at higher dimensions, like fifth dimension, sixth dimension, and higher, we're not disconnected and on our own, in quotes, right? We're always parts of different collectives experiencing different things together. Unity makes sense at that level, don't it? Now, my earth elemental spirit guide comes to me as a shaman most times, and sometimes as different kind of land animals. Most humans' earth elemental spirit guides do embody and present themselves as shamans, witch doctors, medicine men and women, and all sorts of earth-based spiritual workers. They have access to all the earth energy, including the animal medicine that power animals and animal guides have. In fact, I kind of have a feeling animal guides are part of that collective too. My earth elemental spirit guide is part of a large collective of shamanic beings, and I recently channeled them through automatic writing. And I'd like to share that with you now as they brought through some information that can be helpful for us to understand who they are. So when I asked them their name, when I first was introduced to them, they told me I could call them Will, W-I-L, which is like an acronym for Walks in Love. So I love that. So this is the channeling session from March 9th of this year, 2025. So they said, we are one. We, you, lifetimes together. I am your essence in this shamanic collective, made up of so many different belief systems. Many lived outwardly a religion, but inwardly a different relationship with Creator and Spirit. We understand the difference between outward relationships portrayed with God versus a real, intimate, internal, eternal relationship with Source. It looks the same to human characters in the outside world. It looks like capital L love because it all is capital L love. We hold much wisdom, having been born in this world, and we were all born in this world as human characters in several of our lives, and also as animals in many others. We hold great animal medicine that we can and do share with you. We have made friends with the elements, the stones, the trees. The ancient trees share their knowledge, wisdom, and memories of history with us. We chose to leave these energetic parts of ourselves connected to Mother Earth to aid humanity and Mother in their journey to higher vibration. Being on one of the lower vibrational planets for eons, it is time for this planet's essence to move higher, closer to back home. We are excited that the planetary brothers and sisters in the solar system and others are aiding in this with their astrological energetic influence, and that many beings from across the universe have come in human form at this time to add their energy to the mix, adding their own higher vibrational vibes to the Earth Humanity Collective. We look forward to more contact and helping you expand your inner shaman connection. Blessed be, little one. You are loved. Short and sweet for now, right? But I love the energy. They bring through this energy. And I have a great suspicion that all of our elemental spirit guides are part of a large collective, arranging and maneuvering things for our highest experience in the physical realm. I'm excited to learn more as I connect with them more often myself. So I hope that helps a little in getting to know your own earth elemental. And as I mentioned earlier, I'd love to hear about your experiences that you've had. So, okay, let's transition from the earth element and get into the fire element. We're focusing on the fire element this month because of the influence of the 4-4 Zen gate of the Emperor and his fiery energy of Aries, along with the eclipse energy of the Aries new moon solar eclipse from March 29th, which will still influence us up until mid-May or so. So it's a perfect time to introduce the magic maker, the horse on fire, the Knight of Wands in the tarot. So the fire horse, in this year of quests, we'll meet each of the 4 horses and knights of the tarot, including the 5th horse energy of the major arcana next month. The element of fire is like a crackling campfire. You can hear it, you can smell it, and it spreads out and impacts things. It's very visible. It can take over things and get out of control very quickly and become a forest fire. So it's alive. It's this powerful living energy. The fire element rolls over our energy, including our spiritual energy and our manifestation energy, meaning what we focus on, we draw more of that to us. It sparks creativity, and it can help reveal our passions in life, bringing qualities of courage and leadership. So, fire energy expresses itself as a drive to be passionate and energetic. So that can bring an intense energy, enthusiasm, a zest for life. It's a drive to be courageous and bold. So that can make us feel unafraid to take risks and dive headfirst into challenges. It's also a drive for us being assertive and being direct. So it often stands like on our shoulder, like a little, we'll call it a little angel, encouraging us to be outspoken and not shy away from expressing our opinions. We're also driven to be independent and self-motivated, so it draws us to hold a strong sense of our individuality and to be driven to achieve our goals. There's also this drive to be a natural leader. So this fire energy rises up inside of us, pointing us to take center stage and inspire others with our charismatic presence. Also, it's a drive for creativity and to be imaginative. So fire draws us to our creative pursuits and connects us to our powerful imagination. And then lastly, we'll talk about the drive to be action-oriented. Again, that alive energy, the fire energy is all about taking action and moving forward rather than just dwelling on details or emotions. So our fire energy is a big part of our human adventure because whatever we focus on with this energy is what we draw to us. We hear a lot about manifestation, and our humans love to feel like we have the power to bring things into our lives that we want. And we always are drawing things to us, but we may not be aware of what we're drawing in because of our human conditioning. Which leads us to the quest for the magic wand. So every night has a quest. It's what they do, right? And when we look at each of the knights of the minor arcana in tarot, they each hold the ace of their suit in their hands, representing that this is what they long to have in their hands, and thus is their quest to pursue in finding. The quest for the Knight of Wands is, of course, for the Ace of Wands. So this journey is about that we are taught growing up to focus on what or who we fear will leave our lives or not leave our lives. We're also taught to focus on the fear of what or who will come into or not come into our lives. We're also taught to focus on what we hate or do not enjoy in our lives. We also are taught to focus on what we want and need. But all of these things are what I call lack energy. It's focusing on what is not in our lives. The thing that we aren't taught is that when we focus on lack or fear, we get more of that, not what we feel we want or need. When we're focusing on needing and wanting, we're saying, I don't have this or I don't have that. So our energy is saying that we enjoy not having. So it gives us more of not having, pushing people away, circumstances away, abundance away, job opportunities away, whatever it is that we are thinking we want or need and don't have. It sends all that away, away, away. So if we're focusing on our fears, we are yelling out to the thing we fear and drawing it to us. Or if it's that we're fearing something will leave our lives, we're literally repelling it out of our lives. That's our energy that's doing that. It isn't the universe doing it to us. We're doing it to ourselves. But that's great news because it is us doing it to ourselves. We are the ones that can also undo that to ourselves. And how do we do that, Brother Zen? Well, I'll tell you. If we want to have more, we focus on being grateful for what we do have or have had. That can look like writing down everything you've loved about your current job and jobs of the past, if you're wanting a new job that you love, or writing down everything that you loved and are grateful for in your loving relationships, if you're looking for more love. Whatever we focus on is what we attract. So we attract who we are. So if we're a grateful person, we draw in more things to be grateful for. If we're someone who focuses on our fears and our hate, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because here it comes. We are the creators of our life. The creator, the universe, whatever you feel your higher power is our co-creator. We are driving a large bus, and the creator is our co-pilot, handling the AC and the heat, the radio, and handing out the snacks. They listen to our energy and input that into the GPS, and here we go. Our spiritual posse, our guardian angel, spirit guides, loved ones on the other side, our ancestors, the whole kit and caboodle, all of them are puppies in the back of the bus, just happy to go along for the ride. We are the ones driving the bus. We aren't little babies in a baby seat in the back seat, going along for the ride somewhere against our will. Our will, our power of choice is the one guiding the bus. At first, I was a bit resistant to this belief because I didn't want to be responsible for the events that unfolded in my life. But once I realized it meant I was going to guide my adventure and the only person who could stop me was myself, I was all in. It is such a powerful awareness. This is the quest for the magic wand. So why is this quest important? Why even go on it? Well, because we are taught to focus on lower vibrational energies, as I mentioned earlier, like our fears, our wants, our needs, we will draw those things towards us, feeling like we are at the whim of the world and that life is happening to us. We come here to experience these lower vibrational events and relationships, so there's no right or wrong when it comes to what we choose and experience. But when we're bored or tired of experiencing that, we have an opportunity, many of them throughout our lives, to step back into our power. And it's not like we've lost that power. We just forgot we were the ones in control. It'd be like driving a car and letting go of the steering wheel or falling asleep at the wheel. The environment outside would impact our adventure as we bounce all over the place. The steering wheel under no one's control but the outside environment. We hit a pothole and end up flying off the road onto an off-road adventure. So this quest allows us to put one hand back on the wheel and then two, and we can feel like we are steering our way through the environment around us, taking the car off cruise control and putting our feet on the brake and or the accelerator. We are not on an out-of-control drama train about to leap off the tracks. We are on our own fun bus in a giant convoy of fun buses, and you are the driver of your super vehicle of extraordinary adventures. And that brings us the awareness of what the gift of the Ace of Wands is. Each ace does bring us a gift from Spirit. And in a way, it brings us a renewed passion, this Ace of Wands, brings us creativity and clarity around where we want to focus our energy. Are we living our dream? Are we growing what we want or what we have been told to want? Are we expanding the fears in our head or the dream of our heart? The Ace of Wands brings us a fire that wells up within us, like goosebumps and shivers of a holy courage and strength. It feels like when we're watching a movie and that underdog has the event that causes them to stand up for themselves and realize their superpower, right? Shazam! And there we are, standing in all our power in a perfectly fitting superhero costume. Ta-da! Which takes us into the journey of the wands. So this Ace of Wands is the beginning of our journey through the suit of wands in the tarot. Then we go to the Two of Wands, which introduces us to the power of choice between higher vibrational love energy or the lower vibrational human energy rooted in fear, which we've talked about a bunch already. We make new plans with new intentions and embark on a new path, investing energy into the next step and then the next. And with that awareness and action, we learn along the way, and with new knowledge and information, the Three of Wands takes us to a fork in the road where we decide to alter course. And we head off the main highway to catch another road that takes us to a slightly different path, or sometimes a significant course alteration. This brings the joy and celebration of the Four of Wands as we rejoice in a new path and are grateful for overcoming the challenge of the Three of Wands. And this brings stable energy for a time and can indicate a partnership or marriage, an agreement between two individuals to head in the same direction on the same path. For now. Bringing us to the conflicting energy of the Five of Wands. It starts off looking like there's a battle going on between everyone on the card. The beginning of a kung fu movie like I used to watch on Saturday mornings as a young man on the kung fu theater. So all these people, they're all fighting with their wands and all hitting each other with their staves until one person is barely left standing as everyone else is exhausted, lying on the ground. We wait in anticipation to see if they're going to finish off everybody. And then we're surprised because they all start laughing. They all help each other get back off the floor, off the ground, and walk back together down a path to a monastery where they put away their staves and head off to the meal hall to have dinner together. They were all monks and nuns of the Buddhist monastery, helping each other grow their skills. So what started off as drama energy transforms with the magic of the number 5 of change, and the energy transforms from lower vibrational fear energy into loving, higher vibrational energy. And this brings us back to a balanced 6 of Wands, a card of victory. Your spiritual posse raises you up on a horse, giving you the banner and wreath to acknowledge a successful journey. You're celebrated and the energy is flowing. And like all even-numbered cards in the suit of the minor arcana, we reach the next even numbered level with the 6, but to eventually become bored and a bit stagnant, ready for more growth. And that's why we come here, to learn and grow, grow, grow. Thus enters the next odd-numbered, challenging card of growth, the 7 of Wands. So you're standing on a hill, not dimming your light, not asking permission to shine as the sun does, and not needing to defend yourself. Though in the beginning, when people seem to be attacking us, we can get defensive. When we realize the people below the hill, feeling low about themselves, are saying and doing things that feel like they're trying to knock you down the hill, or not saying or not doing things to support you to stay atop the hill, we don't need to defend ourselves. We realize that they are reflecting how they feel about themselves and not us. We stand our ground and shine bright. Our light will shine upon them, and they can choose to become brighter themselves, or if they're not ready for all that light, they will retreat into the shade until they're ready. None of that is your responsibility or concern. Just shine bright. So your light grows brighter as the 8 of Wands energy accelerates and your vibration rises higher and higher. Because Spirit speaks to the higher vibrations of unconditional love and joy and laughter and fun and peace and gratitude. It's expansion. As your energy rises closer and closer to this, you start recognizing more messages and signs from Spirit. They have always been there. You're just able to more easily recognize them and hear them. Can be signs and messages in the physical world, like repeating numbers, license plates with messages, bumper stickers, songs on the radio, even road signs. Or it can be mental messages dropped into your head, like memories being ignited out of nowhere. It can even be feeling an energy surge of spiritual energy or emotional energy that surges in your heart. It's an amazing feeling realizing that they want to talk and communicate, guide and protect us all the time. And eventually we become used to that energy flow and we're ready for an upgrade, ready for some downloads from Spirit. We want to go higher and higher levels, and our spirit and heart are hungry for connection with the divine, which brings us to the feeling of like an energy block of the 9 of Wands. Something feels like it's holding us back, or it feels that way anyway. We keep hitting our head up against this wall, as indicated by usually there's a bandage on the heads of the individual in the 9 of Wands. But we persevere. We're walking down a canyon that has high walls and we cannot climb those. And we reach the 9 wands, creating a fence across our path. We can't get around it. We're stuck there. We notice one of the wands begins to glow brighter and brighter. And this is the Ace of Wands that we have been on the quest for. We grab a hold of it, realizing that it is our magic wand. Like the Excalibur sword, with King Arthur in the sword, right? We are the only ones that are able to pull that magic wand from the fence. And when we do, we're able to do it so easily, and it just comes loose. Standing there with our magic wand in our hand, we notice that this created a perfect size space in the fence for us to slip through and continue on our journey into the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands brings us energy of harvest. Look at all those wands that we're carrying. So much energy, allowing us to do so many things. And as we carry all these things that we're investing energy in for so long, we start to feel a bit burdened. It starts to feel a bit heavy because we've been taking on too many things that all feel urgent and all feel important. So this is a time where we're nudged to complete an energetic inventory. What are we investing all of our energy in? This is a step that we're being given because we're looking at building up our energetic bank again so that we can go to a new level. It's like we're leaving the planet to go somewhere new, to another planet, but we can't take all of this stuff with us because it will use up too much of the rocket fuel for our spaceship. So we're being nudged to build up our energetic bank because we're about to use this energy for our new upgrades and spiritual gifts and energy, and to receive downloads from the spirit world. So woohoo, it's a good thing why we're being nudged for this, right? So we create 3 buckets. We first sit with the question, what is truly urgent and truly important to us? Not what we think is supposed to be important because we've been told it is, but what is truly urgent and important to us. All of that is placed within the first bucket. Then we ask ourselves what is truly important to us, but not urgent. And these things we can put on our calendar for the future because they are not urgent for today. And we can know when they'll become urgent and plan on completing them before then, right? And all of that goes into bucket 2. And then whatever's left over may feel urgent to us, but it's not truly important. So maybe it really isn't truly urgent either, eh? All of that goes into bucket 3, and we never really have to do anything with that stuff. They will either take care of themselves or it'll fall away. Either way, we are not impacted by it greatly because we didn't deem them important. And if we get everything done in bucket 1 and bucket 2 and we get bored, we can stick our hands in bucket 3 to see what we would want to invest energy in. But there really is no need to do that, and hardly ever happens, right? I mean, how often are we all caught up on the truly urgent and truly important things in our lives, right? Right. And then reaching this point, we are all set to expand our fire energy, right? Yeehaw! We're ready to move up into the fiery royalty of the suit of wands. We start with what can be considered card number 11, the Page of Wands. Pages are those individuals who were the newspaper boys of old yelling out, "Hear ye, bringing important news." They are the sages, the students, excited to learn something new. And in this case, they're bringing us the expansion of our spiritual energy, new passion, igniting heightened creativity, pushing us to live, not just exist. Follow your dream, they shout, excited to see us expand into higher and higher vibrational love. It can also indicate upgrades and downloads like we were talking about before with the 10 of Wands. And of course, the Knight of Wands is what we've been focusing on this whole time, right? The quest, seeking higher and higher vibration and connection of the spirit world. And this is the energy of our journey to remember how powerful we are and how much of our lives is of our own making as we draw in things that match our energetic focus. So this card brings with it a ton of flowing energy, being the fastest horse out of all the knights, being the horse on fire. And then the Queen of Wands. Beautiful picture of our ability to focus our energy and get things done. You may notice on all the royalty of the wands, especially in the original tarot, that they all have a salamander or a lizard on them except for the queen. The lizard represents the protector from the risk, from the fiery desert that all of them need as they take risks and move forward in things, all that action energy. But the queen doesn't need that protection. Why? Because she has such an amazing connection with the spirit world, indicated by the black cat. Every queen rolls over her own suit with the king, but all the queens also get a portion of watery, emotional cups energy behind the scenes. In this case, it grants the queen empathic emotional connection to the spirit world, in addition to her natural spiritual connection energetically through the wands suit. And when she's at a crossroads wondering what risky road to take, she dials up her eye in the sky for guidance. And because spirit has the big picture view of this maze of life from up above, they can tell us easily which way is for our highest experience. The queen receives direct guidance, makes the move, and boom, success. No risk. So that's why she doesn't need the protection of the lizard. And then the King of Wands. They can represent our highest expression of spirituality in human form, which also brings in energy of the higher self. The king experiences all levels of the wand suit and is the culmination of all the adventures the wands have experienced. Reminds me a lot of the energy of the emperor, which is about a royal sitting on their throne, surrounded by a ton of advisors in the throne room, giving their opinion on how the kingdom or empire should be run. Their opinions are widespread and even contradictory to each other, which eventually brings the king or emperor to the point where they realize they can't please everyone. So they ask everyone to leave the throne room, putting all their opinion on the shelf. And they realize it is their kingdom, and they're going to decide what they want for their kingdom. So they close their eyes and open their heart and see what the dream of their kingdom is. Then they make a plan, and they take action and invest energy toward the dream. Dun da da da, the trumpets sound. What an adventure that is. But the adventure ain't over yet. We also have major arcana in the tarot that help with big things in our lives, and it can indicate significant events or changes in our lives. At times, they might work kind of more behind the scenes and under the surface. But let's take a look at some of the major arcana that I connect with the fire energy, though some of these have other zodiacal sign significance and energy. So we'll start off with the Magician, which is really Mercury and air energy. And even though the Magician is actually that air energy ruled by Mercury, it has a ton of spiritual energy that comes with it, represented by the infinity symbol, above the character usually, which is our higher self, and the magician raising their magic wand to the sky, being a conduit of that energy, pointing it, their hand to the earth, to the ground. So this reminds me a lot of the Ace of Wands energy, of course, which we have talked a lot about already, so I won't repeat all of that. We move into the number 4, the Emperor, which is Aries fire energy. And I mentioned the Emperor energy already when we spoke about the King of Wands just a moment ago, so I won't rehash that either. Just know that because it is a major arcana, it is a life-changing energy where we kind of change books, where the King of Wands would be more changing like of a chapter of chapters in a book. And then we move into the Leo energy of the Strength card number 8, and then the Sun card number 9. The Sun, of course, rules over Leo. That's why it's such huge Leo energy. And both the Strength and the Sun card have heavy Leo influence. These energies point us to our inner children, especially with the Sun card, because usually it shows a little child riding on a horse, escaping from the walls of the garden. This energy, it's bright, it's successful, it's abundant energy, bringing in courage and strength, knowing all the efforts we put into things is worth the effort and the wait. Which brings us to number 14, the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. It's a patience card. Ugh, I know. But this Sagittarius energy brings in the element of alchemy too. We put a base metal in one cup, add the magic of the wands, and this intention energy along with it. And as it pours back and forth from cup to cup, back and forth and back and forth, it starts to ignite the magic in it all, slowly changing it to gold. And then, out of nowhere, the patient, consistent movement of the liquid in between the two cups, out of nowhere, suddenly becomes gold. Boom! And it was worth the wait, right? Then we go into the Tower card, number 16. Mars energy, Aries energy. This lightning strike comes hitting the condemned tower that was no more able to be lived in, right? We grew attached to that old tower. It's the only tower we felt we knew. So we panic as the tower is hit by lightning and starts burning down. And it's okay to feel the loss of the tower, because we didn't realize that we actually lost it long ago when it became unlivable. But now we can mourn its leaving from our lives. But wait, there's a transformation of these emotions and thoughts and experiences as the insurance claims adjuster arrives on the scene. They have the rubble removed, and they show you the plans of the castle that will replace the tower. Yes, the remaining tower was the last remnants of a castle that had burnt down a while ago that only left the last remaining tower. But now that it's all gone, we get an updated, replaced castle that has 4 towers and a large wall that protects the castle. Shut up, all right? Had we been aware of this a long time ago, we might even have the tower set on fire ourselves. Don't do that in real life. Okay, there's another amazing awareness about tower experiences that Spirit wants to share now as well, as it will help us accept tower moments more easily if we want to. So before we come down to earth, our soul decides what fated events it wants to experience in our lives. There's usually aren't a ton of them now, because a lot of our lifetimes we want to experience the power of choice with tons of possibilities, because it makes for a more exciting adventure. So living like a scripted life where everything has to happen a certain way is like having to learn lines of a character in a movie without any wiggle room for improv. That feels like work instead of fun, right? But we do choose to have some fated moments because we want to experience certain things in a lifetime. And usually these moments are more of a range of time. The soonest we can experience something, and then the last moment where something needs to change or leave our lives in order for us to experience the next fated event. So we ask our spiritual posse if we haven't removed something by this last moment, that they remove it for us. And they agree. So if we don't remove it, that mysterious lightning bolt comes and removes it out of our lives, making space for the thing or person or event that is more in alignment with what our soul was wanting for this life experience. It clears our pathway so we can move on towards the experience we wanted. Now, if we're in tune with Spirit a lot, raising our love vibration to that of Spirit, unconditional love and joy and peace and fun and gratitude, etc., then we can hear the countdown begin before the lightning strikes, right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And hearing that countdown because we're connected with Spirit, we can jump out of the tower beforehand. So if you look at the 2 individuals in the original tarot, one appears to be leaping out of the tower, the other is blasted out. So we have a choice, and there's no wrong choice. It's really been my experience that many of us human characters, we like that electric shock treatment of the tower getting hit by lightning. All right. And then the last major arcana is the Judgment card. It's Pluto energy. It is fire energy. And so moving into this Judgment card, the Pluto energy of death and rebirth, very Phoenix energy. It's an invitation from our higher selves to see things from a higher perspective. Can sometimes be referred to as the calling card, meaning we're being drawn to see more of what we wanted to achieve in this life. How is it that we wanted to uniquely share the love from inside our hearts with the world? We can step out of the dream that was handed to us when we were children, that we blindly accepted because we didn't know any better, and release that dream. We replace it with something that feels like living instead of existing, something that is from the heart instead of from the head. Setting our world on fire. So next, let's talk about a few tools that can be used that are tied to the fire energy of the passionate life experience. So first, let's look at candle work and fire ritual. So what would a fire adventure be without a fire ritual, right? So please always be careful and legal with your fire rituals so no one gets hurt or arrested and you don't burn down your home. And candle work is an amazing practice, whether it be staring into flames or using specific colors to bring in specific energies or to release certain energies. All that can be very effective. And there are common energies believed to be attached to different colors, but I'm a bit of a rebel by nature, probably my Aquarian sun influence. So I encourage you to be in tune with the energy of color and how it influences you uniquely. Candles can both draw in energy to you with your focus, as well as help you release it. So remember that everything is a tool to help you magnify your energy, but it is ultimately all about your energetic focus that is the magic. And then chakra energy. So speaking of colors, we also have great energy flowing through our energetic system of our physical bodies, known as our chakra system or meridians in some cultures. And when our energy is out of balance, we feel out of balance in our human character. There are great free videos on YouTube that have music and meditations to balance each or all of the chakras. So check those out. And we can also identify what color that we're attracted to in a moment. And we can wear clothes of that color, surround ourselves with that color, and even eat and drink things that are of that color. And if you're unsure of where to begin, I recommend starting with yellow, as that is the color of the solar plexus chakra, the seat of our energetic power, which is all about this energy. And then we look at cleansing energetic fields and aura work. And we're always surrounded by energy, like a fish swimming around in the sea. We can take on others' emotional and spiritual energy if we don't have our bubble up, like a little empathic or energetic bubble around ourselves. And I have a couple of videos that I'll include in the description box of this video that talk about the empathic bubble and the true gift of an empath. And those can help you see how you might create that bubble around yourself so you don't take on everyone else's energy and emotions as your own, and so that you can also realize what is yours that you're feeling and experiencing and what is from others. You can also create your own aura and energetic cleansing practices, like when you're showering or bathing, imagining the water cleansing your aura, washing away anything that is lower vibrational, or that it converts lower vibration to higher vibration. And with any ritual or practice, there's no absolute right way to do things, and there's no wrong way either. Our human characters like to define and create rules around things, but that's restrictive, lower vibrational energy rooted in fear. Spirit is expansive, unconditional, and free. And if it works for you, then do it. Unless it, of course, hurts another living thing, then that is lower vibrational energy, even if we think it's bringing us higher vibration. And then creative expression. When's the last time you created something? What was the last thing that you formed from your creative genius energy that lives inside of you. Sometimes we can get so busy and distracted with the fears of life and trying to do everything that we think we're supposed to and should and need to and must do that we forget that we are mighty creators that need to create to feel fulfilled. So whether it's painting or pottery or cooking or gardening or xeriscaping, sewing, grooming animals, even drawing, doodling, whatever it may be, create. Let that energy flow through you. It will recharge you and give you renewed energy. And we talk about the inner flame, or well-known Kundalini energy. So it's believed that at the bottom of our bodily chakra system is in our root chakra, lies a dormant spiritual energy that waits until it's activated to take us on the next stage of our journey as a human character in each lifetime. So we come here to experience the lower vibrational life of a human, at least in the beginning of our human character's life. And then at an appointed time that we selected ourselves by each of us before coming down into physical form, our soul chooses a range of when it will awaken and become aware that it's more than the human character. It's also a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love, that actor behind this human character. And that is when this Kundalini energy rises up within us. Usually it's a slow expansion as we open up to the higher realms, but some people do experience great surges and life-transforming events in connection to it. Every human character's experience is different because we are all different with different intentions to learn during our adventures here. Comparing our experiences with one another is the human thing we do to judge whether our experience was right or wrong, to judge if we're lovable and acceptable or not. Spoiler alert, we are all 100% unconditionally loved and accepted by the ones who matter and see things for what they are, which is the spiritual realm. Human characters are fickle, can't see clearly, so using their opinion to define us is kind of silly, ain't it? But if we are announcing to everyone that we're having a Kundalini experience and look at how amazing and big and impactful it was, well, that can be our human ego character doing all that talking, unless it's truly from a place of unconditional love, encouraging and helping others by sharing the experience. So what energy is behind the sharing? That's how we can tell why we're sharing it. And then lastly, we'll just talk about moving energy, which can be like Tai Chi. So like most things in life, if it ain't moving, it can become stagnant. And stagnant energy and things don't bring life. We can move our spiritual, fiery energy by physical actions, and it's most impactful if we're bringing spiritual intention into the physical movement. Tai Chi is a great example of this, and yoga, of course. But as I said before, we don't have to be caught up in the norm of what everyone else is doing. Finding a practice that is unique to you will also keep you engaged in it. Trying to do what everyone else is doing will begin to feel like work, and we will poop out. So find a way that excites you about moving your energy and change it up whenever you feel like you're becoming bored with it. So I love that we're never alone in our adventure as these human characters, even when we don't have physical beings around us. We're surrounded by a great host of spiritual beings of unconditional love and light who want to help us in any way that we ask of them. They never sleep. They're never away from us. And some of the members of this amazing posse of support are our elemental spirit guides. How to meet your fire elemental spirit guide. Since this video focuses on the fire element, let's talk about how you can meet your fire element spirit guide. Everything is energy, mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, spiritual energy, passionate, creative energy. The fire elemental spirit guide is tied to all of these in some way. So we can use any and all of these avenues that we're about to talk about to connect with our fire elemental spirit guide. And of course, there are so many paths that can lead to them. Intention is the key. When we reach out with our will and our heart, our mind, even with our physical arms, all of that ignites our spiritual arms, invisible spiritual arms, to reach out. And when we reach out to the spirit world, they are right there to embrace us. Like when a little 2-year-old reaches out its arms to us, we're apt to want to pick them up, because when a child reaches out, we know it's sincere and we kind of feel special. So this is how the Creator, Spirit, and all of the spirit world feel about us. When we take a little tiny baby step toward them, they come sprinting toward us to pick us up. And they're really never far away. Their steps are huge compared to our little human baby steps. So we can use these ideas to connect to any of our spirit guides or any being of light and unconditional love on the other side. So start with your mind. Picture a bright flame burning. So picture that in your head. What color is it? Does it change color? And then see it getting brighter and bigger. See a figure beginning to form within the flame. What does it look like? Is it coming to you in the form of an animal or a human figure or a shape? Sit with that and see what your fire element comes to you as. Just observe, does it change form? And then what emotions are you feeling in your heart as they come to you? Are they bringing emotional memories from the past? Are you seeing these memories play out in your mind as you feel emotional energy surge within you? Take a deep breath and sit with what you're feeling for a moment. And then move your hands to your heart if that feels right for you. Touch your hands to each other. Join your hands together like you're holding hands with yourself. You can even open up your arms to the heavens like you are asking for a hug. So whatever feels right for you to do in this moment, do that. There is no wrong, there is no right. Follow what your body wants you to do. Let the vibration make its way out into the physical world. Whether it's singing or chanting or humming, allowing the light language to flow out of you in any way that feels comfortable helps connect our physical human experience to the spiritual, energetic. Move your attention and your intention to the base of your spine. See your root chakra vibrating and swirling with mighty, bright, deep red fire energy. Feel it surging. Feel it spinning. Feel it flowing. And then see a phoenix appear within the bright red flame. It begins to spread its mighty wings out further and further, preparing to fly. And it begins taking off, flying in circles through this beautiful red energy, causing the energy to expand and flow more deeply. And then suddenly it looks upward, and the flame energy and the feathers on their wings that currently are matching that bright red color, suddenly you start to see also orange being included, an orange tint in the fire, an orange tint in the feathers of the phoenix. And they move up into your sacral orange chakra, igniting that energy and bringing the red chakra energy with them as well. The orange and red energy mix, but they stay separate like oil and water. You feel the expansiveness of the sea of love, but now you also feel each individual drop and your ability to relate to each individual drop. The phoenix continues to fly through all this energy, keeping it moving and stirring and flowing. And you feel this energy expand as they again look upward. Now their feathers and the flame take on the color yellow along with the red and the orange as they fly higher into your yellow solar plexus chakra, your seat of personal power. You feel this energy expand and flow and swirl as you feel your personal power expand. You see yourself as a powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love. Sit in this amazing power of love. What are you seeing in your mind now? What are you feeling in your heart? What is your body feeling like? What sensations are you feeling in your being? What messages does your fire elemental spirit guide have for you? Ask them what their name is. What comes to you? Ask them to reveal themselves to you. And what do you see? Answers may come right away. Answers may come in time. Be gentle with yourself. You are worthy of their love, and they want to connect with you. There isn't anything you need to do to be worthy of their love and attention and connection. All you need to do is reach out with your heart, and they are there for you. If it resonates for you, find a picture that represents them to you. Make it your screensaver on your phone or your computer, and let that be a reminder to connect with them and remind you that you are never, ever, ever alone. They're available to connect with you anytime you want to. They so love it when you do. I'll share a little bit about my interactions with my fire elemental spirit guide in next month's quest video, because I don't want to influence your experience with yours right now. Just remember, we are so loved. I do cover more element information each month through my full moon, new moon, and sun readings, my Zen Gate readings, my weekly Zen Bites, and also my yearly energy forecast for each individual zodiac sign, as well as the quarterly solstice and equinox readings by each zodiacal element. There are links to all of these playlists listed in the description box of the video below, and some of them will appear at the end of this video as well, if you're drawn to check any of them out. So that's it for this month's quest into your fiery, energetic realm. And if you so choose to accept a quest, see what stood out to you in this video, and let that be your personal quest until our next quest video, where we'll delve in to the final element, the ethereal, as we look at our guardian angel. So let me know if you have any questions or share any inspiration, observations, or knowledge that you would like to share with the Zen friends. You can comment on this video, or if you would like to be more private about it and prefer something more private, you can email me at bredazen@gmail.com. I'm so glad that we're on this adventure together in this lifetime, and remember, we are never alone. We are eternally and unconditionally loved by a great host of beings of unconditional love and light. And of course, I love you too. So until we meet again, much love to you and enjoy your adventure.